The Forgotten Ship. The Galactic Empire had seen many threats in its time, but none like this. It was the year 3025, and the galaxy was on the brink of war. Alien fleets from all corners of the galaxy had united under the banner of the Galactic Empire, and they were ready to expand their control. Their target? Earth. They had heard whispers of a hidden fleet, an ancient force from a small planet on the edge of the galaxy. But those whispers were quickly dismissed. "We don't need to worry about Earth," Commander Zorath of the Krylax Empire said with a smirk. "Their fleet is nothing but a relic of a forgotten age. We'll crush them easily." The Galactic Council, made up of the galaxy's most powerful alien leaders, agreed. Earth's fleet was old, they believed. Too old to pose any real threat. In fact, it was so ancient that most of the galaxy had forgotten it even existed. The humans had been quiet for centuries, focusing on rebuilding their shattered planet. But little did they know, Earth's fleet wasn't a relic. It was something far more dangerous. As the alien ships made their way toward Earth, they were confident. The humans had nothing to stand against them. But what they didn't know was that Earth's fleet had been waiting, quietly hiding in the vast expanse of space, for just the right moment to awaken. Deep within Earth's hidden base, a lone technician sat in front of a console, staring at the blinking lights on the screen. He wasn't a soldier or a warrior. He was just a simple man doing his job. But even he understood the significance of the moment. The old fleet, once thought to be useless, was now being activated. The ship's engines roared to life, a sound that hadn't been heard in hundreds of years. The walls of the ancient ship seemed to vibrate as power surged through its circuits. The technician's hands shook as he activated the communications array. He wasn't sure what the future held, but he knew one thing. Earth's forgotten fleet was ready to fight. Back on the alien ships, Commander Zorath and his fellow leaders continued to laugh. They were sure this would be easy. But as they entered Earth's orbit, they began to feel a strange unease. They had underestimated the humans. The relic was no longer just a forgotten relic. It was waking up. The first sign of trouble came when an alien scout ship picked up strange signals emanating from the old Earth ship. The signals were old, but they were unmistakable. They were from Earth's fleet, a powerful force that had been lying dormant, waiting for this very moment. The scout ship sent a report back to Zorath's flagship. "Commander," a voice crackled over the communicator. "The Earth ship. It's not what we thought. It's alive." Zorath scoffed. "Impossible. It's just an old relic. There's no way it could be alive." But even as he spoke, his own senses began to tingle. He could feel it. Something was wrong. His instincts told him that this wasn't just an old ship. It was a weapon. "Send out a reconnaissance team," Zorath ordered. "We'll make sure the ship is nothing more than scrap metal." As the aliens deployed their teams to investigate, the old ship's systems came online. Its weapons, once dormant, began to power up. The ship's lights flickered to life, and it began to move, slowly at first, but with growing speed and power. The ancient vessel, built centuries ago by humans, was now a force to be reckoned with. On the alien ships, officers began to exchange nervous glances. The ship wasn't just a relic. It was something far more advanced than they had anticipated. And with each passing moment, it became clearer. The humans had been hiding something that no one had dared to acknowledge. Zorath's smug expression faltered as he watched the old ship powering up. "What is this?" he muttered, unsure of what to make of the situation. The first blast from Earth's ship struck the lead alien ship with the force of a thunderclap. The alien ship shuddered under the impact, and then it exploded, sending debris scattering through space. The other alien ships were stunned into silence. This wasn't a battle they had expected to fight. The Relic had just taken down their flagship in one shot. The alien forces quickly realized that they had made a grave mistake. Earth's fleet wasn't a forgotten relic. It was a weapon waiting for the right moment to strike. And now, that moment had arrived. The technician aboard Earth's ship, watching the chaos unfold on his screen, smiled. He knew the old ship had a purpose, and it was now fulfilling it. The battle had begun. As the alien forces scrambled to adjust, they knew one thing for sure. They had underestimated humanity's strength. What they had thought was an old, useless relic had now turned into their worst nightmare. The forgotten ship was back, and it wasn't going to let anyone stand in its way. And so, the stage was set. The aliens had come to conquer, but Earth was not going to surrender without a fight. The forgotten ship was only the beginning. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity was not a species to be mocked. The unleashing of Earth's fury. The aliens, stunned by the first strike from Earth's ancient fleet, tried to regain control of the situation. But the damage had been done. The once proud alien ships were now scattered, their confidence shattered. Commander Zoreth, the leader of the Galactic Empire's invasion force, paced back and forth in his flagship, trying to make sense of what had just happened. "Commander, the Earth ship's weapons are more advanced than we thought," one of his officers reported, his voice laced with disbelief. "The blast from their ship has taken down our flagship, and we've sustained heavy damage on the other ships. It's impossible to comprehend." Zoreth clenched his fists, his mind racing. He had believed that the humans were weak, that their so-called relic was nothing more than an outdated relic of a bygone era. He had been wrong. The humans had kept their true power hidden, and now it was too late to stop them. "What are we supposed to do now?" another officer asked, his voice filled with panic. Zoreth took a deep breath, his face hardening. "We regroup. We can't let them get the upper hand. Send reinforcements. We'll destroy them before they can launch another attack." Meanwhile, aboard the Earth ship, the technician who had awoken the dormant warship stood in awe of what had just transpired. He had always known the ship had power, but he hadn't anticipated this level of destruction. The old warship's systems were coming online one by one, and the ship's artificial intelligence, once thought to be a relic, was now fully awake. "We need to send a message," the technician muttered to himself, his fingers moving quickly across the console. "The galaxy needs to know that Earth is not as weak as they think." He sent a signal, broadcasting Earth's warning to every corner of the galaxy. "We, the humans of Earth, have awoken. You have underestimated us, and now you will pay the price. This is your final warning." The message echoed across the stars, reaching every corner of the galaxy. It was a bold declaration, one that no one had expected from a planet that had long been forgotten by the galactic powers. The warning sent a ripple through the alien fleets, and soon, even the most distant corners of the galaxy began to tremble. Back in the alien fleet, panic spread like wildfire. The news that Earth had awakened its ancient warships reached every ship, and commanders across the galaxy began to question their next move. Should they retreat, or should they prepare for an all-out war? Zoreth, though shaken, was determined not to let Earth's sudden power deter him. "We will not back down," he said, his voice cold with resolve. "This will be a battle that will decide the fate of the galaxy. We will crush them and prove that the Galactic Empire is invincible." But deep down, even Zoreth knew that the odds had changed. Earth had revealed its power, and the rest of the galaxy was watching. The balance of power had shifted, and nothing would ever be the same again. On the bridge of the Earth ship, the technician looked out into the void of space, the stars twinkling in the distance. He didn't know what would happen next, but he knew one thing for sure. Humanity had just awakened something that the galaxy would never forget. The ship's eye, once thought to be dormant, now spoke with a voice that sent chills down the technician's spine. "The time for diplomacy is over. Prepare for war." It was a simple statement, but it held immense weight. Humanity had made its decision, and now the galaxy would have to reckon with the consequences. Across the galaxy, other species watched with growing concern. The Galactic Empire, once thought to be unbeatable, was now facing a new threat. The humans, the ones they had mocked, had revealed a power that no one could ignore. As Earth's fleet continued to awaken, more ships joined the fray, their weapons ready for battle. The humans were not backing down. They had nothing to lose, and they were willing to fight to the very end. The war had only just begun, and the universe would soon know that humanity's fury was something no one could withstand. The roar of humanity's power. The galaxy had underestimated Earth, and now the entire universe was witnessing the awakening of something truly formidable. The last remnants of humanity's ancient fleet were slowly emerging from their long slumber, and with each ship that came online, the power of the Earth's forces grew. The old warships, once thought to be useless relics, now blazed with life and firepower that no one had expected. In the heart of the Galactic Empire's command center, Zorath's face tightened as he looked at the growing reports. His officers were frantically monitoring the situation, but the situation was spiraling out of control. The humans, they've activated more ships, one of the officers reported nervously, his hand shaking as he updated the status on the screen. The fleet is growing, and their weapons are far beyond anything we've ever seen. Their power is unlike anything we've ever encountered. Zorath gritted his teeth, his mind racing. The once proud empire, which had conquered countless worlds, was now facing a force that had remained hidden for centuries. Humanity had remained silent, biding its time. But now it was clear. Earth was ready for war. "We need to act now," Zorath snapped. "Send every available fleet to Earth. We'll destroy them before they can fully mobilize their forces." But even as he issued the orders, a part of him knew that it might be too late. The human warships were a sight to behold. Massive, intimidating, and unstoppable. Their weapon systems were advanced beyond anything the Empire had ever seen, and the tactics they used were unlike anything the Empire had ever encountered. Back on Earth, the technician who had awoken the warships watched in awe as the fleet continued to grow. The eye of each ship was fully operational, and the once dormant weapon systems were now online, ready to unleash destruction on anyone who dared challenge Earth. "Commander," the technician said, turning to the leader of Earth's fleet, "the message has been sent to the galaxy. We have made our warning clear. Now we must prepare for the inevitable." The commander nodded, his expression serious. He had seen the reports from the front lines. The Galactic Empire was sending its entire fleet to Earth, but the humans had something far more valuable than numbers. They had the element of surprise, and they had the raw power of their ancient warships, which were fully capable of turning the tide of any battle. "We will hold our ground," the commander said, his voice filled with determination. "Our ships may be old, but they are powerful. The Empire will soon realize that humanity is not a race to be taken lightly. We will make them understand that we are not weak." The tension was palpable as the Earth fleet prepared for battle. The eye of each warship hummed with life as they powered up their weapons, their systems synchronizing in perfect harmony. The crews of the ships stood ready, knowing that the fate of Earth rested in their hands. And then, as if on cue, the first of the Galactic Empire's warships appeared on the edge of Earth's solar system. The massive fleet, with its vast array of ships, slowly moved into position. The Empire had come to Earth, believing it would be a quick and easy victory. But the Empire had made a fatal mistake. "Prepare for battle," the Earth commander ordered. "Target the lead ship. Let them feel the power of humanity's legacy." With that, the first volley of fire erupted from Earth's ancient fleet, and the galaxy was about to witness the true might of humanity's power. The Empire's ships tried to retaliate, but their weapons were no match for the fury of the humans. The first few shots from Earth's warships tore through the lead alien ships with terrifying precision, causing massive explosions and sending debris flying in all directions. Zorath's flagship shook violently as it was hit by a blast from one of Earth's warships. His officers scrambled to keep the ship intact, but the damage was severe. The Empire's fleet, which had once seemed so invincible, was now on the defensive, struggling to hold its ground against the sheer power of humanity's weapons. "What are they using?" Zorath shouted, his voice filled with disbelief. "How are they so strong?" "They're using weapons from their ancient fleet, Commander," an officer responded. "We didn't know. We didn't know they had this kind of firepower." Zoreth's mind raced. The humans had kept their power hidden for so long, and now the galaxy was paying the price. The battle had only just begun, but one thing was certain: humanity's fury was unstoppable, and the Galactic Empire was in for a fight like no other. Back on Earth, the technician watched as the war raged in space. He had always known that humanity's ancient fleet held a power beyond comprehension, but seeing it in action was something else entirely. The humans had awakened, and they would not be silenced again. The message was clear. Earth was no longer a relic of the past. It was a force to be reckoned with, and the universe would soon learn that when humanity unleashes its power, nothing can stand in its way. The Empire's forces were falling back, but Earth's warships were not done yet. The first battle was over, but many more were to come. And with each battle, humanity would prove that it was not just a relic of a forgotten past. It was the future. The galaxy would never be the same. The Empire strikes back. The Earth's warships had made a powerful statement. The first battle was a victory for humanity, but the Galactic Empire was not one to back down easily. Zoreth, now furious and determined, called upon every resource in the Empire's vast arsenal to respond to Earth's challenge. "We can't let this go unpunished," Zoreth growled, his face dark with rage. "Humanity may have stunned us once, but they will regret awakening these relics. They have no idea what we are capable of." The Empire's counteroffensive was massive. Fleet after fleet emerged from hyperspace, surrounding Earth's solar system with overwhelming force. The Empire had lost some ships, but they were determined to crush this uprising before it could spread. They believed that Earth's old warships, despite their power, were too outdated to stand up to the sheer size and firepower of the Empire's fleet. In the silence of Earth's war rooms, commanders and technicians were preparing for the worst. The victory they'd just won was significant, but it was also clear that the Empire would return with even greater force. "We've made our message clear," the Earth commander said, standing before his officers. "But we must be prepared for what comes next. We've shown them what we are capable of, but we must prove that this is not just a fluke. We must stand ready to defend Earth at all costs." Humanity's warships continued to prepare for battle, their weapons recharged and their systems optimized. But the Empire had learned from their mistakes. This time, they would come prepared. Their fleet was massive, but Earth's defense was steadfast. On board one of Earth's largest ships, Captain Riley stood on the bridge, watching the incoming enemy fleets. His face was grim, but his voice was calm as he spoke to his crew. "We've been through worse, and we've come out victorious. Now we show them that humanity will not back down," Captain Riley said. "We fight not just for Earth, but for every civilization that might one day suffer under the Empire's iron fist. Today, we defend our future. We defend the galaxy." The ships of Earth's fleet moved into position, their ancient weapon systems now fully synchronized and ready. They were ready for round two. Outside, the sky seemed to tremble with the presence of the Galactic Empire's fleet. Hundreds of ships filled the void of space, their massive forms gliding through the black expanse. Their weapons, powered and primed, pointed toward Earth, ready to unleash their fury. At the front of the Empire's fleet was Zoreth's flagship, a mighty warship brimming with power. Zoreth's face was locked in determination, his hand gripping the command chair as he prepared to engage Earth in a battle that would decide the fate of the galaxy. "All ships, fire at will." Zoreth's voice rang out across the fleet. A barrage of laser blasts and plasma beams flew toward Earth's warships, but humanity's fleet was ready. Earth's ships opened fire, and the battle quickly erupted into chaos. The space between the two fleets was filled with flashes of energy, as both sides exchanged firepower that lit up the void. But despite the Empire's overwhelming numbers, Earth's warships held their ground. The ancient ships, once considered outdated, proved to be more than a match for the Empire's might. Their weapons hit with surgical precision, cutting through the Empire's ranks like a knife through butter. The Galactic Empire's confidence was shaken. They had expected an easy conquest, but what they found instead was a force that refused to fall. Their ships began to suffer heavy damage, and their once proud fleet was faltering. Zorath watched in disbelief as his flagship's sensors registered massive explosions from the ships around him. He couldn't understand how Earth's warships, seemingly relics from a forgotten age, could stand up to his forces so effectively. How are they doing this? Zorath muttered under his breath. These ships, they should have been no match for us. His officers struggled to answer as their systems were hacked, their weapons malfunctioning, and their shields flickering under the pressure. Humanity's old ships, it turned out, had been built with technology far beyond the Empire's wildest dreams. Earth had a secret, one that Zorath was beginning to regret underestimating. Back on Earth, the battle raged on, but the crew aboard the human ships remained resolute. Every shot they fired was precise, every maneuver calculated for maximum damage. The Empire's arrogance had led them to believe that victory would be easy, but now they were fighting for survival. "We are not just fighting for Earth," Captain Riley said, his voice steady despite the chaos. "We are fighting for every free world in the galaxy. We will not let the Empire's reign of terror continue. Not while we still have breath in our bodies." The battle was far from over, but humanity had proven one thing to the Empire. They were not a species to be underestimated. The once mighty Empire had made a grave mistake in underestimating Earth's power, and now they were paying the price. As the battle unfolded, both sides knew that the final outcome of this war would reshape the fate of the galaxy. And with every passing moment, it became clearer that humanity would no longer be silenced or ignored. The old warships were alive once again, and the galaxy would never forget the roar of humanity's power. You said, the turning tide. The battle in space continued to intensify, with explosions lighting up the dark expanse of the galaxy. Earth's fleet, now fully awakened and proving its might, held its ground against the massive forces of the Galactic Empire. But despite the confidence Earth's warriors showed, the Empire wasn't done yet. Their resolve was as strong as ever. Zorath, now furious and more determined than ever, stood on the bridge of his flagship. His hands clenched into fists as he watched his fleet slowly crumble before him. The human warships, powered by technology thought to be long lost, were an unexpected threat, one he had severely underestimated. "We can't let them win," Zorath growled, turning to his fleet commanders. "Reinforcements are on their way. The full might of the Empire will be unleashed upon these humans. We'll show them that even ancient ships cannot stand against us." Back on Earth, Captain Riley and his crew continued to command their warships, staying focused as the battle raged on. The enemy's strength was staggering, but the human fleet's resilience was something that even the Empire couldn't break. The old ships, once thought to be relics, proved their worth with every shot fired. "Our fleet may be outnumbered, but we got something they don't," Captain Riley said, his voice steady and commanding. "Heart, we fight for more than just survival. We fight for freedom. And that's a force the Empire can't calculate." But despite the determination of humanity's fighters, the battle was taking its toll. The Empire was relentless, and their sheer numbers were beginning to wear down Earth's warships. Damage was mounting, shields flickering in and out as the enemy unleashed wave after wave of devastating attacks. "We need a plan," Lieutenant Harper said, her voice filled with concern. "If we don't find a way to take down their flagship, we're not going to make it out of this." Captain Riley nodded, his mind working quickly. "We faced worse odds before. We can't afford to give up now. We've got to hit their command center, take down their leadership, and the rest of the Empire's fleet will fall apart." With that, Riley made the call. Earth's fleet began to shift their focus, aiming their weapons at the heart of the Empire's massive flagship. It was a risky maneuver, one that would leave them vulnerable. but it was the only chance they had at turning the tide. On the Empire's flagship, Zoreth looked at the incoming wave of attacks and understood the humans' new tactic. His shields held for now, but he could see that Earth's warships were determined to bring down their flagship at any cost. "They're going for the kill," Zoreth said, his eyes narrowing in determination. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers. We're not losing this fight." But Zoreth knew that even with his flagship's power, the numbers were working against him. Earth's warships were no longer just defending. They were attacking with a fury he had never seen. Every shot fired was calculated to weaken his forces, to break them apart piece by piece. "Launch everything we've got," Zoreth ordered. "I want their fleet scattered. Do not give them a chance to get close to us." The battle raged on, with both sides pushing to their limits. But Earth's fleet wasn't backing down. Despite taking hits, despite losing ships, they pressed on. They knew that this was more than just a battle. It was a fight for the future of their world. "Give them everything we've got," Captain Riley barked. "We have one chance to end this. For Earth. For the galaxy." The tension was palpable as Earth's warships closed in on the Empire's flagship. Every move was calculated, every shot fired in rapid succession. The human fleet was showing no mercy, taking full advantage of the Empire's weakened position. Zoreth's eyes flickered with frustration as his flagship's shields began to fail. He had underestimated Earth, something he had never thought possible. The relics that had once been dismissed as obsolete were proving to be his greatest challenge. "We're losing control," one of his officers cried out. Zoreth clenched his jaw, his face turning red with anger. "Hold the line. Do not let them take our flagship. If we fall here, everything falls." But it was too late. As Earth's warships made their final push, the Empire's flagship was struck with a devastating blow. The once impenetrable shield shattered, and the heart of the Empire's fleet began to break apart. The flagship's weapons went silent, and the massive warship was slowly torn apart by the unrelenting firepower of Earth's old ships. On Earth, a cheer erupted in the control rooms as the flagship's destruction was confirmed. It was a victory, but it came at a steep price. Many of their ships had been severely damaged, and the battle wasn't over yet. The Empire still had a massive fleet at their disposal. Captain Riley, exhausted but determined, looked out at the space battlefield. "We've taken down their flagship, but the war isn't over. Let's finish this." The battle raged on, but the victory was clear. The Galactic Empire had been dealt a blow it had not anticipated. Earth's old warships, thought to be relics of the past, had proven their strength and the power of humanity. The tide was turning. The Empire had underestimated humanity once again, and this time it would cost them dearly. The Empire strikes back. The battle was far from over. Despite the destruction of their flagship, the Galactic Empire was not ready to concede defeat. In the depths of space, the remnants of their fleet regrouped, preparing for a counterattack that would leave no room for mercy. The destruction of the flagship had been a devastating blow, but Zoreth, now furious and more determined than ever, was not going to let this setback define the Empire's fate. "Prepare the fleet for another assault," Zoreth ordered, his voice icy with resolve. "We will show them what true power looks like. Humanity's so-called relics won't stand a chance against the full might of the Empire." While Zoreth rallied his remaining forces, Captain Riley and his crew weren't resting on their laurels. Earth's fleet had been weakened by the prolonged battle, and many ships had sustained heavy damage. But the fight wasn't over yet, not by a long shot. "We've taken down their flagship, but we've only just begun to scratch the surface," Riley said, staring out at the battlefield, his eyes filled with determination. "We need to press our advantage while we still have the upper hand." Lieutenant Harper nodded, adjusting the controls in front of her. "The enemy's regrouping. They're making their move. We can't let them recover. We have to hit them hard and fast." The human fleet was battered, but they were not broken. With their sights set on the Empire's remaining warships, They prepared to launch a final assault. Every ship in the fleet knew the risks, but there was no turning back now. Earth's forces had fought too hard, and too many had already fallen, to let it end in defeat. "We don't have much time," Captain Riley said, turning to his officers. "We need to take down their remaining ships before their reinforcements arrive. This is our moment." As the human ships charged forward, their engines roaring to life once again, the Empire's counterattack was launched with full force. Zorath had unleashed everything he had. Massive weapons of destruction that tore through space like a storm. The Empire's fleet surged forward, determined to reclaim their honor and crush the humans beneath their heel. "Brace for impact," Captain Riley shouted, watching as the enemy ships came into view. The darkness of space lit up with flashes of energy as the battle intensified. Humanity's relics, once thought to be outdated and obsolete, were now humanity's greatest weapon. The battle was a violent storm of laser blasts and energy waves as both sides clashed in a fury. Earth's fleet took hit after hit, but their resilience remained unbroken. The warships, designed for destruction and equipped with technology that the Empire couldn't even begin to understand, fought back with everything they had. "This is it," Lieutenant Harper said through gritted teeth, her hands flying over the control panel. "If we don't finish them now, we'll lose our chance." "Hold the line," Captain Riley shouted. "We've come this far. We're not backing down now." The human fleet launched a final, coordinated strike. Their warships swarmed around the Empire's remaining vessels, using their superior maneuverability and advanced weaponry to outsmart and overpower their larger adversaries. The Empire's ships, despite their formidable size and firepower, were no match for the relentless assault. Zorath, aboard his command ship, watched in disbelief as his forces began to falter. The relentless barrage of fire from Earth's fleet was overwhelming. One by one, the Empire's ships were destroyed, disintegrating under the fury of the humans' warships. Zorath's vision was clouded with rage, but deep down, he knew the truth. "We underestimated them," Zorath muttered under his breath, realizing too late that humanity's so-called relics were the key to their power. His fleet, once a dominating force, was now crumbling before the might of Earth's warriors. With every shot that rang out, the tide of the battle shifted in humanity's favor. The Empire's warships, unable to withstand the assault, were falling apart. Their shields, once thought impenetrable, were no match for the power of Earth's ancient weapons, and Zorath knew that the battle was lost. The Empire's forces were scattered, their ships destroyed or retreating. "It's over," Zorath said, his voice hollow. "We've lost." On Earth, the commanders of the human fleet breathed a collective sigh of relief. The battle was won, but it had come at a great cost. The fleet had been ravaged, with many ships lost or heavily damaged, but they had held their ground, proving that humanity's strength, resolve, and the power of their relics could not be underestimated. "We've done it," Captain Riley said, looking out at the debris-filled space around him. "The Empire is retreating. We've won." But despite the victory, Captain Riley knew this wasn't the end. There would be more challenges ahead, and the war wasn't truly over. The Galactic Empire had been shattered, but the galaxy remained a dangerous place, and humanity had only just begun to show its true power. "We've shown them what we're capable of," Lieutenant Harper said. "But this is just the beginning. The galaxy will never forget what Earth did today." As the final remnants of the Empire's fleet retreated into the depths of space, Captain Riley stared out at the stars. He knew that Earth had won this battle, but the war was far from over. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: humanity would never be underestimated again. "You said, the Empire's last stand." The aftermath of the battle left the galaxy in a tense, uneasy silence. Earth had done the unthinkable. It had defeated the mighty Galactic Empire, but victory was bittersweet. The human fleet, battered and scarred, had paid a heavy price. Many lives had been lost, many ships were in ruins, and yet The Empire was in retreat. The galaxy would remember this day, but for now, the threat had been pushed back. Captain Riley stood on the bridge of the Sentinel, the flagship of Earth's fleet. The damage to the ship was severe, but it was still operational. As he looked out at the remnants of the Empire's fleet, a cold sense of reality settled over him. The Empire was defeated for now, but this would not be the end. Other powers in the galaxy would see this as an opportunity to rise, and Earth would need to be prepared. "We've done what we set out to do," Lieutenant Harper said, walking up to him. Her face was covered in grime, but her eyes held a fire that hadn't dimmed. Riley nodded, his gaze fixed on the distant stars. "We've won, but the battle for our future is just beginning. The Empire will retreat, but they'll regroup, and when they do, we have to be ready." The communications officer on the bridge spoke up. "Sir, we've received a transmission from the Galactic Council. They want to speak with you." "Patch it through," Riley ordered. The screen flickered to life, and a face appeared. An alien of indeterminate species, their features sharp and angular. The voice that followed was cold, but there was an undeniable respect in it. "Captain Riley," the alien began, their tone clipped. "The Galactic Council has been watching the events unfold. You have proven humanity's strength. The Empire's defeat will be a topic of debate for many years to come. But be warned, this is not the end. Many powers in the galaxy will now be watching Earth with suspicion." "We've faced worse," Riley replied, his voice steady. "And we'll continue to fight for our place in this galaxy. We won't be intimidated." The alien's eyes narrowed slightly. "We shall see. But know this, Earth's victory against the Empire has not gone unnoticed. Prepare yourselves for what is to come." The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the bridge in a tense silence. The message was clear. Humanity had made a powerful enemy by defeating the Galactic Empire. The galaxy would not forget. "We've made a lot of enemies today," Lieutenant Harper said quietly. "Do you think we're ready for what's next?" Riley took a deep breath. "We don't have a choice. We've shown the galaxy that Earth won't be intimidated, and we'll stand strong, no matter what comes our way." He turned back to the view of the stars, a look of determination settling over his features. "The future of humanity is in our hands now. We've won the battle, but the war for our place in this galaxy is far from over." As the Sentinel and the other surviving ships drifted back toward Earth, the fleet was not celebrating. There was no time for that. Every ship, every soldier knew that this was only the beginning of a much larger struggle. The defeat of the Galactic Empire was a powerful message, but it was also a challenge to every other force in the galaxy. Earth had proven itself capable of incredible feats, but the galaxy was full of dangers that no one could predict. Humanity's battles were far from over, but now they had the confidence and the strength to face whatever came next. And as Captain Riley stood at the helm of Earth's fleet, he knew that this victory, though hard-earned, would echo through the stars for generations to come. The galaxy would never forget the day that humanity proved its power. And as long as Earth's warships still flew in the void of space, the universe would never underestimate humanity again. The stage was set for humanity's future, a future that was no longer uncertain but filled with possibilities. But no one could predict where this new path would take them. One thing was certain, however: the galaxy had just become a much more dangerous place for anyone who dared challenge Earth's might.